The world was told Malcolm-Jamal Warner's death was just another tragic accident. A drowning in Costa Rica. A simple headline, a closed story. But for Pamela Warner, his mother, that explanation was like trying to bandage a bullet wound with a whisper. Nothing made sense. Her son was a strong swimmer, cautious and paranoid about his safety in those final weeks. His last phone call to her still replayed in her head like a broken record. "If something happens to me, Mom, tell the world I wasn't lying." Then came the night that changed everything. Sorting through his belongings, she reached inside, the lining of his old winter coat where her fingers brushed against something hard. A small USB drive, scratched with 5 chilling words. "In case something happens to me." Trembling, Pamela plugged it in. What she saw made her blood turn cold. Files, documents, recordings, and a video from Malcolm himself. In it, his face was pale, his voice cracked with exhaustion. "If you're seeing this, I didn't make it. And if they tell you it was an accident, don't believe them. They're going to say I drowned, but I didn't. Someone made sure I wouldn't come back." The silence the world thought it could bury had just been broken. And Pamela knew this was only the beginning of a storm that could take down empires. Pamela Warner was no longer just a grieving mother. She became a soldier armed with the truth. Standing in front of cameras, her voice quivering yet unshakable, she declared, "My son didn't drown. He was drowned. Drowned by power. Drowned by silence. Drowned by a system that protects predators and erases truth." Her words carved through the air like knives, and the world finally leaned in. Inside the USB, investigators found mountains of evidence. Confidential memos from major networks, signed NDAs, hush money ledgers, even internal emails using terms like risk management and containment protocols. And at the center of every web, one name was highlighted again and again: Bill Cosby. Pamela turned it all over to the Department of Justice. Within days, the headlines erupted. Cosby, once untouchable, was dragged back into custody, this time facing charges that weren't just about abuse but conspiracy, cover-up, and even accessory to murder. The whispers of accident were officially dead. In their place rose a scream. Hollywood wasn't just corrupt, it was lethal. The archive Pamela delivered wasn't just a collection of papers, it was dynamite. Documents with chilling titles like Crisis Optics, Silence Machine Directives, and one that sent shivers down the spine. If containment fails, redirect through tragedy. The ocean remains a viable optic. In cold, lifeless words, executives had plotted how to bury Malcolm. Not just his career, but his life. Then came the most haunting evidence: Malcolm's personal recordings. In one, he sat in a dimly lit room, whispering, "They don't just silence you. They erase you. They rewrite your life. They decide your death. And then they sell the lie back to the public like a headline." When the files hit the internet, the reaction was nuclear. Social media exploded. Hashtags like Inachiu, Justice for Malcolm, and Yiuhadiu Him Didn't Drown trended worldwide. Artists painted murals of Malcolm's face with the words, "They tried to erase me." Former staff members and whistleblowers began coming forward saying, "We were paid to stay quiet." One leaked memo revealed an operation called the Silence Machine 2.0, a step-by-step guide on how to smear a whistleblower. Stage fake scandals, leak false rumors about drug use, plant stories about mental health struggles. But Malcolm had cracked into that system, and for that they decided he had to go. Pamela's grief had transformed into something unstoppable, a movement. The trial became the stage where the truth unfolded, and Pamela was at its center. Holding her son's final letter, she repeated his words for the court to hear. "Don't let them erase me." Witnesses lined up, each confession heavier than the last. Former assistants admitted, "We were told to destroy files. to silence, victims. Ex-security personnel whispered about orders to stand down the night Malcolm died. But the breaking point came when Cosby's former bodyguard took the stand. His voice shook as he revealed, "I was told to track Malcolm, not protect him. On the day he died, I got the call. Stand down, it's handled." Gasps filled the courtroom. Cosby sat stone-faced, but the mask was shattered. Then Pamela revealed her final card, a second hard drive Malcolm had hidden. This one wasn't just files, it was a map of the entire silence industry. It named executives, detailed financial transactions, and exposed something called Echo Protocol, a kill switch designed to digitally erase a person's presence, their history, even their voice in hours. Pamela didn't hand it quietly to the judge. She uploaded it to the world. The internet imploded, networks collapsed, powerful executives resigned overnight, and when the dust settled, Bill Cosby was no longer just a disgraced entertainer. He was officially charged with conspiracy, obstruction, and accessory to murder. The machine had been cracked wide open. Malcolm-Jamal Warner may have been silenced in life, but in death, his voice became louder than ever. Pamela released one final video Malcolm had recorded before his death. In it, he smiled faintly despite his exhaustion. "They tried to drown me in silence, but I had you, Mom. You'll finish what I started. Thank you for being the loudest voice I've ever known." Pamela, holding back tears, whispered back to the camera, "You were never erased. You're etched into history now." Today, murals of Malcolm stand in cities around the world with the words, "They can kill the messenger, but not the message." His files are studied in law schools, his name spoken at protests, his story fueling a fire that cannot be put out. Bill Cosby may sit behind bars, but Malcolm's death revealed something larger, that an entire machine exists to erase truth-tellers. And now, that machine is exposed. This isn't just the end of a scandal. It's the beginning of a reckoning. Malcolm didn't leave behind a goodbye. He left behind a mission. And that mission now belongs to us. To keep speaking, to keep fighting, to make sure the silence machine never wins again.